What I really want to say tonight is about the future of the public relations business, but I want to do it from a fairly unique perspective. As you've just heard, I don't come from big PR, what I call the larger firms. I call them big box PR firms. I don't come from one of those. That doesn't mean that they're not great, that they don't have a bright future, but what it does mean is I've got a lot of ideas about the transition from where we are today to where we're headed in the future. I didn't work my way up to a big agency, so therefore I approached a big agency with a little different set of eyes. We were always scrappers in my firm. We built it from scratch. We sold against big PR firms. I can't tell you how many times I would go to a pitch and say, well, they're owned by a holding company, and they're a big PR firm, and we're an independent firm, and we're much smaller, and we're nimble, and we're so much better able to accomplish your goals because of that. And now I hear that being done to me, and I just sort of chuckle. Because in many cases, they're still right. The challenge is to allow both of those activities to exist at the same time. And I think that's where we're headed going forward in the future. I like to think of myself in the PR business, and this is important to your education, is coming from the business side of the equation. I'm an entrepreneur. I am a serial classic entrepreneur. I started my own company. I built my own company. I made a lot of mistakes in my own company. I have made mistakes at Hill & Knowlton already after only being there 2 years. Because I believe that if you're not going after change and if you're not rocking the boat in some way, you're really not accomplishing much. Plus, it's not very much fun. So when I look at what we did from the standpoint of a classic entrepreneur, I think that one of the things that was key to this was I came up with an idea that I think whatever you call it is a critical part of our future going forward, and it's something called the fifth seat. The fifth seat is something that I came up with because I believe, based on the political experience I had, and the experience I had as a business person building my own business, and the experience I had with a handful of clients early on, seeing their problems, I came to the conclusion that what the future really holds is that automatically in any large company, there are automatically 4 seats in the company. In the boardroom, advising the CEO. They're law firms, they're bankers, they're accountants, and they're management consultants. Occasionally you'll run into another person or two who got in there, but that's usually the 4 people that are in there. And anytime something big comes up, it's instinctive that they call those people into the room. And they have lots of wisdom, lots of high-priced fees, they have a lot of good ideas, and more often than not, in my experience in the last 25 years, when they all collectively come to the conclusion that this is a really good idea, and they leave the building, they miss something. And what they leave the building and miss is the public. That's where the public relations part of this comes in, that's where the measurement part of this comes in, and I believe it's a big part of our future. So I look at the challenge here today, and I see that we are in a business, in the PR business, that in many ways people look of as the past. People see a lot of our firms, ours included, and they think of the glory days of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, where these swashbuckling advisors would come in, far too often only men. And they'd come in, and there were all these great stories about how, well, so-and-so sold the CEO of a company a $4 million contract, and that was the most fun we ever had, and then we didn't work there anymore. And if you really take a hard look at where we are as a business, we have a challenge in front of us, I believe. I think the challenge in front of us is that the public matters more than ever. Measurement matters more than ever, data matters more than ever, and we're in a position now where the whole world's changing around